Have you been wanting to take pictures of the night sky and wondered what would be a great way to get started? Let me show you a system that's both compact, portable, and a great way to get you started onto your journey into the wonderful world of astrophotography. I'm Paul Owen, and this is Universal Time. Astrophotography can be very frustrating and difficult if you don't really have any experience with it. Many of the questions I get are based on, what should I buy if I want to start out in the astrophotography world? What do I need for a telescope? What do I need for a camera? Well, just to share a little story with you on my personal experience, is when I first thought, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this. I'm going to take images of the night sky. I called a retailer, an astronomy retailer, and I said, look, I want to get the biggest telescope I can get, and I want to point it to the night sky, and I want to take pictures. What can you sell me? And his question to me was, well, what are you mounting this on? And my question to him was, mount. So you can see, and he did at the time, this was a gentleman that has enthusiasm, wants to get out there, take pictures of the night sky, but doesn't know where to start. And that's really what this channel is about, and that's what this video is about, is to kind of save you from going through all of those pitfalls that I went through and maybe spending money that you really didn't have to get a really good start in this wonderful world of astrophotography. So what I've done here is I've actually put together a rig that I think will work extremely well for most people who are just starting out, and even for those who aren't starting out, they want these wonderful wide field vistas of the night sky. This is the kind of system that I'm going to recommend for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this all down into the components and the parts and tell you exactly what it is that I'm going to show you, that I'm going to recommend, that if you're just starting out, this kind of system will be just great for your journey into the wonderful world of astrophotography. Okay, so we've got the rig totally tore apart, so I've got it all set up so that we can look at each individual component and talk about each thing on its own merit. So first of all, the telescope that I'm going to recommend for you for a beginning astrophotographer is this one here, and as you can see, it's very, very small, very compact, very light, easy to carry around. In fact, it'll fit into a backpack very nicely. This is the William Optics Zenistar 61 doublet APO refractor, and APO just simply means that this telescope is corrected very well for false color images around sharp edges on things like the moon or really, really bright stars. Very, very well corrected for color. It's a very, very short telescope. Again, like I say, when we pack it up, when you actually take it and set it up, the whole front of this telescope will actually pull out, and this is what we call a retractable dew shield. So that'll pull out almost twice the length of the scope itself. The beauty of the dew shield and what it's designed to do is to keep all the dew and or frost off of the objective lens throughout a night of imaging. Now this also has what they call a dual speed Crayford focuser. So that means that there are two main knobs on the focus controller. This one here would be the coarse focuser to get your image in really nice and close to where you want it to be. And then this one, of course, is the fine focuser to get that really nailed down to the sharpest possible focus that you can. Very, very well put together, good feel on it. Also on this side of the focuser, there's actually a temperature control. So if you're concerned with dramatic changes in temperature that might affect your focus, you can keep an eye on it right there. So they William Optics thought of everything on this one. They also have a control knob on the top is right here, and what that's for is as you get your focuser out to the point where you've got it in, it's in focus, you're ready to start imaging for the night, then you can actually turn down that knob and lock the draw tube in so that it doesn't slip back and forth on you. They're using a 2-inch focuser in the back, and this is really good because most of the cameras and a lot, if you're going to use it for observing, a lot of the eyepieces are actually 2-inch, and it makes for a much larger imaging circle. And the importance of that is if you have an APS-C camera like this one, or a full frame camera, this telescope is designed to fill both the APS-C and a full frame camera with the imaging circle coming off the back of this. So they've considered all of those things, and that's actually a very good thing, because you don't want to have vignetting on the edges or circles, just a circle around a big thing. We're going to have to crop out a lot of your image. You won't have to do that with the imaging circle that this telescope provides. Another very nice feature that's built into the Zenistar 61 is, if you look right on the front of the cap, this is the cap that protects the lens when it's not in use. This front portion unscrews, and what's here is what they call a bought-off mask. And what this is a focusing aid. So this basically will slip on the front of your telescope, like so. You'll have your telescope aimed at the star, or whatever your object is. Typically a star is what you're going to want to aim this at to get focus. And then basically you're just going to move this back and forth, your focuser. And what will happen is the telescope itself is going to show you a crosshair. It's going to show you an X, and then it's going to show you a line in the middle. That line in the middle moves back and forth as you move your focuser in and out. So once you've got the X in that line dead center on your star with this, then you know you are perfectly in focus. Lock your focuser down, take off your batten-off mask, and now you are totally in focus and ready for a night of imaging. So that's basically what works on the front end. On the back end, the telescope has a device that's set up so that you can use either 1 1/4 inch cameras. So if I had, for example, a little camera like this and I wanted to do shots of the moon, a little planetary camera, then this would simply go in the back of the telescope. This would lock down, and then the camera simply slides in to that little 1 1/4 inch size. So now I can actually take some videos of the moon to stack up a whole bunch of pictures. I can do that like that. If I'm going to be using a camera, whether it be a dedicated astronomy camera or whether it be a DSLR that I'm using, it's going to require a 2-inch hole to put it in. So let's just show you how that would work. So if I'm not going to be using the planetary camera, I'll take that out. Now we have an actual 2-inch hole that we can put a camera into. So let's say I'm going to use my astronomy camera. That just simply slips into the back of the camera, or in the back of the telescope rather, and I'm all set up. Just a matter of getting focused, and I'm good to go for this particular camera. So so it's really flexible in that way. And again, this is so light. I think the total weight of this is about it's less than 3 pounds. So it's really light, easy to use, and it's very forgiving on any kind of a mounting system. And we'll get into the mounting system a little bit later. So that's a little bit about the telescope itself. Now let's talk about the camera that I would recommend for the same setup. And a lot of you folks may already have a DSLR camera at home that you're using now, and perhaps some of you don't. If you had to go buy one, this one here, this is an older Canon, and it's called the T3i. There's still a ton of them on the marketplace, and a lot of astrophotographers started out with this camera, including myself. This was the camera that I started doing my astrophotography with. And it's an excellent camera for doing astro-imaging. Here in Canada, you can buy these on a used market for $200. So it's a very extremely good value. They're very reliable, and they work very well for astrophotography. How you would connect this camera to the telescope is very simple. First of all, we're going to take out the dedicated astro camera. So that will come off. And then, where is my T-ring? Here it is right here. So there's a T-ring. So you take off your lens, and this T-ring is designed to work specifically with this telescope. So what it does, what a T-ring is basically it slips in the same place that your lens would go on, and then that goes on the front of your camera like so. So then all you'd have to do is just add a nose piece on this, which would just simply screw in, And I don't think I have one right handy. And then that just simply pushes in the back, just like your astronomy camera does. And then that's it. You're set and ready to go. Your camera's connected to the telescope. Just a matter of getting it into focus and make some adjustments on your camera. Get your settings right for whatever it is that you're taking a shot of. And then that's a really, really great combination that way. Now let's look at some of the other components that are in here. So William Optics have a lot of very nice things that you're going to actually need and work well with this to put this all together. So let's say, for example, we're going to do astronomy with my astronomy camera instead of the other camera, just because this one fits in for the time being. All the principles are the same. So what you're going to need is what we call a mounting ring. And what the mounting ring does, it allows you to put your telescope into this system, this cradle, and then this cradle will get locked on to a mount, whether it be a mount something like this one here, or a much larger mount, so depending on what it is you want to mount your system on. So basically there's a little bolt right there. You just unscrew that and this opens up. You take your camera, or your telescope, and there's a little ring on this Zenith star, and it fits right in there, and it's actually cut right in so that it fits perfectly. Then you just simply take the screw, tighten it down, and now your telescope is mounted on the rings that you're going to need to hook it up to a mount. Now, besides that, you're going to have to be able to see what you're looking at in a smaller scope. So this is actually, this little telescope does two things. You can use it as a guide scope, so that when you're using a small camera into the back of it, like this one, you can actually run what they call guiding, which means this little telescope will look at and lock on a star, and as the sky moves throughout the night, if there are any shifts that's going on at all, it will send a pulse to the mount and keep it locked on that star. That's its job if you're using it for guiding. If you're using it as a finder scope, which is the way I have it set up now, of course that just slips on the front. There's two little locking rings right here, and they lock in very nicely. You simply pull off your cap so you can see through it. And then when you have it on your mount, basically you're going to be looking through here to find the object you want to image. And once you found the object that you want to image in here, once this is lined up properly, it will actually tell you that your image is actually in here and on the sensor at the same time. So whatever you see in here should be on your sensor. The reason you use a smaller scope instead of the larger one, because it gives you even a wider swath of the sky, so it's easier to find your target and get it lined up in a smaller, wider field of view than trying to do it on the telescope by itself. So that's basically what that is for. If I'm using it for guiding in that configuration, then I'm going to take off my see-through eyepiece, and then I'm going to put on a little guide camera, which is just like a webcam, if you will. Matter of fact, a lot of people use webcams, but this particular one is an astronomy camera that's designed for this work. You can actually use this as a planetary camera. This is the ZWO ASI 120mm. It's a mono camera designed to use with filter wheels if you're using it to image planets, or if you can also, it's also designed to be used as a guide scope. And the reason they do that is because these scopes, because of the, there we go. These scopes, these cameras rather, are set up to run a USB here into your computer, and also an ST4 cable, which will go down to the guide port on whatever mount that you're using that has guiding capabilities. So this camera is designed to do two things. So then all you do with that is simply slide it into the holder of the guide camera, or guide scope, and you can slip it back and forth to get really perfect focus, because this will be, of course, hooked up to your computer if you're going to use it for guiding. So that'll be all set up there. Once that's in focus, you're all set to run your guiding for the night. Let's see what else we have on here. I think that kind of covers most of the telescope. So between the finder scope slash guider and the telescope itself, and the fact that it has the variability to use different cameras, whether it be a dedicated astronomy camera or a DSLR. The way that this is designed, you can hook up any of them. Those would be the two things that I would recommend as a package. If you already have a DSLR, then you need not spend any more money. Just get the correct T-ring that will fit your particular camera. And that's basically all you need. If you don't have one, you can buy, again, one of these little Canon T3Is, T5Is. There's a number of them out there that you can get for, well under $300, and they are an excellent astronomy camera. Make sure, too, a little tip here on the camera, that you have one that's got an articulating screen, one that'll pull out. Because with this articulating screen, depending on whatever position you happen to be in, it's nice to be able to have this screen comfortable no matter where the telescope is pointing. Because you don't want to have to lay on the ground to look up at the screen to make some adjustments, when all you have to do is open up the screen and have it there. So if you are going to buy one of these and you don't already have one, try to find one with an articulating screen. It's worth its weight in gold. It really is. So that covers the camera, that covers the telescope, and there is one other accessory that I'm going to recommend that you get for this system, and it's designed specifically for this telescope, and it's this device right here. And this is called the William Optics Flat 61A. And what this device does, this actually will give you what they call a flat field. Now, backing that up a little bit, when we look at our optics in the front, if you look at the glass in any refractor, it's actually curved in the front. It's a curved piece of glass. Because it's a curved piece of glass, when you're looking at imaging something with a flat sensor, with the glass being curved like this, what happens is, of course, is that all the center information is nice and round and true, but as you get to the edges of your image, the stars will start to elongate, and that's just the nature of the shape of the optics and how it delivers the image down to the sensor, because you're taking a curved image and trying to put it on a flat plane. So what the flattener's job is to do is to take that curvature that's on the glass and basically eliminate that effect, so that all the stars from the very center out to the very edge are nice round pinpoints and not like little eggs or little arrows at the end. And that's what this what this is designed to do. So let me show you how to put that on. It's very, very simple. Just simply, you're going to take this ring that you see right here, and we're just going to unscrew that. So that will disassemble from the body. And then we're going to take the flattener itself, and it comes with a top cap and a bottom cap. So they kind of think about everything on this particular flattener. And then it basically just screws right into place of where you took off the compression ring. So you're just going to screw that on so that's nice and taut. Once that's in place, then there's another cap in the back. So that cap in the back, you're going to unscrew that. That cap will come off. And then you're going to take your T-ring that is designed specifically for this flattener. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it back on the camera. And there's a little red dot there. You match up with the other little red dot that's on the camera. And then once you've got that there, then that camera will just thread right on to the telescope. And once that's in place, your system, and then you pull your dew shield back out, and there is your rig. It's up and it's ready to go. So there you have a system, folks, that I think will be an excellent choice for anybody just getting into the wonderful world of astrophotography. A great telescope. You can pick up a DSLR if you don't have one. If you do have one, all the better. And this is a really great way to get started in the wonderful world of astrophotography. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about the mounting options that will complement this telescope. Something that's solid and easy to use that'll make a complete system for you. So if you found this video helpful, then please press the like button. And thank you to the noob subscribers. And if you would like to subscribe, press the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified on the upcoming videos, please press the little bell and you'll be notified when new videos become available. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.